As harvest season approaches, how are the markets sitting? Jenny Schlecht met with an expert to find out.
Thanks, Emily. I'm here with Randy Martinson, president of Martinson Ag Risk Management. And Randy, we are rapidly approaching harvest season. So what are we looking at in the markets as we get to that time of year?
Well, what's interesting is we just finished with USDA's report, so that kind of set us up so that now we can concentrate on harvest and where the yields are going to come into play. And right now, as we've been hearing through the whole growing season, everything is variable. So it's going to be interesting to see once the combines get in the field. Some of the early harvested soybeans are coming in a little disappointing. Some guys I've heard some corn being taken off. That isn't so bad yet, but I think variability is going to be the name of the game, and it's going to be hit and miss, and it could be variances just across the road.
So that crop production report that came out this week, it showed a big increase in corn acreage. Was that something you were expecting?
Oh, absolutely not. You look at the numbers. I was going through them here the other day, and you look at the corn acres, and the biggest increases came in, the western Corn Belt states, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska. So I wonder how much of that is actually going to get harvested because of the dry conditions they've been seeing. But no, that was kind of a surprise. In the end, North Dakota is going to have over 1 million more acres over last year. Doesn't look like it when you drive around out in the countryside, but so that was a little bit of a surprise. Soybean acres coming in, not much of a change, but the big surprise came in wheat with the drastic cuts in world stocks.
So let's switch over to cattle, and the cattle market has just been hot. And is there any change in sight there?
Well, not really. I mean, again, in that report, we continue to see tight supplies. Not only did USDA, continue to show smaller 23 production, but 24 production is going to be even smaller than 23. So we are looking at another year of lower production. That's going to sustain, I think, the cattle markets going forward. But the trouble, I think the biggest thing we have to watch on cattle is what's the economy going to do? And right now, that's the biggest thing. We know we're going to see a couple more interest rate hikes depending on what happens with the inflation. And I think that's going to set the tone more just because of whether the consumer is going to be able to afford to buy that high-priced beef.
All right. Anything else we should be looking at in the markets?
Well, really, right now, it's harvest season. So we just keep watching where harvest results are going to come into play. I would expect this market to perform like a seasonal move where we see bottoms come in the early fall. Hopefully, then we can see some demand and start to see this market rebound later.
Are there any outside pressures in this market that we should be aware of?
Well, yeah, there are. I mean, you look at the dollar, that continues to strengthen up. I mean, we had 8 straight weeks of higher closes. We've got 6-month highs. So once we were, when corn and soybeans or corn and wheat were the lowest in the world for our prices at one time, the dollars kind of brought them back up and kind of pushed away some of the exports. And then, of course, watching crude oil because that's also climbing up because of some tighter production in OPEC countries. So those are the 2 big things that I'd be watching.
Thank you for your time. Randy Martinson of Martinson Ag Risk Management.
Thanks for watching AgweekTV on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out new videos every Saturday.